Hi everyone, in today's lore video I'm going to look at the type of training an Astra Militarum trooper would receive in the 40th millennium. The Astra Militarum of the 40th millennium encompasses billions upon billions of men and women who hold back the Xenos horde and the Chaos scum. Whilst appearing horribly inferior to a lot of the opponents are up against, they actually have extensive amounts of training. And for all of them, their training starts in one very humble place. That place is boot camp. The background of the fresh recruits to the Astra Militarum is very varied. They could be from feral worlds, they could be hive gangers, or they could be from the most educated and prosperous planets in the Imperium. However, as their instructors will inform them, they are all equally worthless as they begin their careers in the Astra Militarum. The purpose of boot camp is to take their soft bodies and weak minds and reshape them into the expected standard for an Imperial Guardsman fulfilling their duty to the Emperor of Mankind. If we're to use modern militaries as a guide, recruit camp typically lasts about 10 weeks. Here they are taught to dress and behave like soldiers, including showing courtesy to superior officers. They are also taught the structure of the army, as well as the required disciplinary standards they must adhere to. There is of course physical fitness training, which includes running, swimming, hiking with weight, and a full array of muscle strengthening activities. They'll conduct obstacle courses, which includes high ropes training. They'll conduct battle drills, including bayonet fighting, but also what is called fire and movement. There'll be marksmanship training and also weapon maintenance, training on a wide array of military equipment, and also first aid training. Having completed boot camp in the Australian Army 18 years ago, it is not an easy process. Not all recruits who first start end up finishing the course, with some pulling out halfway. The instructors are tough on recruits, and I can remember being yelled at for a good 15 minutes straight, with 3 instructors yelling at me centimetres from my face. So for the Guardsmen of the 40th millennium, it'll be no different. And I believe it'll be a whole lot worse. In fact, punishment in the Astra Militarum is very, very severe. The Imperial Infantryman's Handbook lists out 47 crimes and their relevant punishments. Some examples include wasting ammunition, penal battalion, modifying weapons or equipment in unauthorised ways, flogged, discharging their weapon without permission, flogged, leaving weapons or equipment on the battlefield without permission, shot, wounding or killing a comrade through misuse or deliberate action with weapons or equipment, flogged, then shot, failure to use Departamento Militarum weapons or equipment to discomfort the enemy, sent into battle without a weapon, failure to clean blood from weapons or equipment, imprisonment, allowing weapons or equipment to become rusted, flogged, allowing weapon to jam in a combat situation, flogged, failure to maintain uniform in a manner befitting the Imperial Guard, flogged, then shot. Now as to whether fresh recruits to the Imperial Guard could be expected to be flogged or shot is improbable but definitely not impossible. The Commissariat expects very high standards, and any Imperial planet which provides inferior Astra Militarum troops would be punished. This is combined with the fact that the Imperium has literally trillions of souls to call upon, so to execute one soldier is by no means a loss of manpower. In fact, the Infantryman's Handbook stresses the importance of equipment and weapon over the preservation of life. It details that it's statistically likely that within 6 months of entry into the Guard, the recruit will die, and therefore pass on their equipment to a new recruit. Like the modern militaries, the issue kit is extensive and includes a uniform, webbing, armour, helmet, lasgun and auto pistol and magazines, bayonet, frag grenades, range finder, lasgun cleaning kit, entrenching tool, axe, lamp pack, medical kit, sandbag, mess tin and canteen, sleeping bag, dog tags, tent, grooming kit, and of course the Imperial Infantryman's Handbook, truck and ammunition, food and water, and soon their rucksack is full and weighs about 25 kilos. So call it 35 kilos with weapon and armour as well. Perhaps the main thing recruits struggled with during my experience was carrying all this equipment. This heavy weight causes havoc on ankles, knees and backs, with smaller recruits carrying just the same weight as taller recruits. However, for some Astra Militarum recruits, they may not have this problem, given they come from a very toughened existence, be it the smelter works in a manufactorum planet, or a hive ganger who has fought for their existence ever since childhood. But no matter their background, their instructors will be working them very hard. Recruit camp is a highly structured existence. Reveille is 0600 every day, with Australian recruits ripping the bedsheets from their bed, draping them over their shoulders, standing in the hallway and numbering off. They then have 15 minutes to make their bed to military standards, shave and dress in their uniform. Depending on the structure of the day, they would then either have breakfast, wolfing it down in 20 minutes, or have morning PT. The next 8 hours are then comprised of lessons including parade drill, weapons handling, military theory, and combat drills including the infamous leopard crawl. The course will also include several gates, requiring recruits to successfully pass various tests, be it navigational theory, demonstrating they can safely handle their lasgun, or operate their personal Vox unit. Remember that to be a soldier or a guardsman actually requires some degree of intelligence. Like when I was at boot camp, there will be some Astra Militarum recruits who simply can't recite the phonetic alphabet, or work the basic mathematics of compass navigation. As said before, the Imperium has an endless resource of fresh bodies to fill the ranks of the Astra Militarum, so any such failed recruits would be quickly shipped back home. So those who do pass out of boot camp would then go on to their specialist schools. Remember, boot camp trains all soldiers regardless of their trade, be it infantry, artillery, armoured crews, signaller, medical or logistics, and I'd expect the Astra Militarum to follow a similar principle. Infantry schools see recruits undergo a further 18 weeks or so of training, focusing on their primary function, which is killing the enemies of the Imperium. Boot camp teaches you how to polish your boots and march around the parade ground, but Astra Militarum Infantry School teaches you how to operate in a squad, platoon or company formation, how to fire a grenade launcher or flamethrower, conduct an ambush, develop a defensive position by digging a trench, call in fire support from a basilisk, utilise a rebreather kit, know the weak points in an Aldari armoured suit, conduct a room clearance, and administer combat first aid when a comrade has been hit by an energy weapon or tyrannid bioweapon. They would conduct live fire exercises, exposing the trainees to all the percussion and sheer volume of battle. Whilst lasguns don't have the same bang as a gunpowder weapon, the technology of the 40th millennium would allow trainees to experience virtual reality aided simulations. It would be unwise to not show them some of the monstrosities that we'll face in the grim dark future. I expect the seemingly harsh punishments I covered before are in place to ruthlessly ensure that the troops have the best possible chance in what will often be horrendously bad odds for them. I'd also expect the Commissariat to be more visible at this point of their training, keeping an eye out for any trainees who appear to be of a lower quality, be it physically or mentally, and also ruthlessly stamping out any disobedience via beatings, flogging or execution. Bastardization is something that doesn't really happen anymore in modern militaries, and I experienced limited incidences of it in my 8 years of service. However, in the Astra Militarum, it would be widespread. Fear would be a major problem for the new Astra Militarum troops, and battlefield cowardice or substandard performance of duties could be avoided by the troops knowing that to do so would result in harsh punishment being dealt by their squad mates, squad sergeant, or worst case, a commissar. The 40th millennium is a tough place, and mankind often hovers on the brink of destruction. While the Emperor reserves a spot next to him on the Golden Throne for those who dutifully serve him, there is no place for those who can't or won't perform to the required standard. We can expect that those trainees who do complete Astra Militarum Infantry School and earn the rank of Guardsman will be some of the toughest individuals with chiselled bodies and minds. As also said before, the Imperium demands a very high standard from its planets that contribute Guardsmen, with planetary officials being dealt harsh punishments if their troops are below standard. A final grim assumption I'd also make is that the mortality rate will be very high during training. Not only from executions, but also via training accidents, with trainees performing more and more complex live fire exercises, so those who finally earn the rank will truly be the brightest, fittest and best guardsmen possible. Right, so there you have it. The type of training an Astra Militarum trooper can expect in the 40th millennium. A quick note on the law. I know there are various ways into the Astra Militarum. The Cadians essentially start training at birth, growing up in a complete military culture. Other planets will draw the Astra Militarum troops from planetary defence forces, taking only the very best. I've clearly gone with the scenario that these guys are fresh off the street, with no military experience. And as to the exact length of the training, I haven't found any exact detail in any Black Library novels. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments. If you want to check out some other lore videos, I've got them in this playlist here. And if you want to support me, you can do so with a like, comment or by subscribing. And if you're feeling super generous, you can support me on Patreon. A link is below. Thanks for watching. Patreon Platoon, sound off. Colour Sergeant DuPont, Guardsman Gibson, Guardsman Gilliam, Guardsman Hall, Guardsman Erdal and Guardsman Mitchell, Guardsman Lundeen, Guardsman Witten.